What's up, Reject Nation? I'm Greg Alba.
I'm John Humphrey.
We're gonna watch The Mandalorian Chapter 2. I'm excited to check this out. The first episode was a really cool experience, getting a lot of things established, tone and whatnot. An ending that raised a lot of questions of like, what's this Baby Yoda character? So excited to see how things unfold. So before we go into this, guys, I wanted to say thank you to Eric over at Nerd Chronic for editing this video for us. He's cutting it down so we can put this up on YouTube. He has done work for people like Emon Snow, Akasan Movie Trivia Schmodown. He has his own podcast as well. We can only put up reaction highlights like everyone else who has a reaction up here on YouTube. So he's cutting it down for us. And we actually do full-length reaction stream-alongs where you can sync up with the time code over at our Patreon page. That's where the full-length uncut reaction for The Mandalorian will be, where you can sync up and watch along with us. And there's other shows that we cover as well. Those are Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Stranger Things Season 3, Gotham, Haunting of Hill House Season 1, Cobra Kai Season 2. And there are other shows where we have stream-alongs, but also we do reaction highlights for them as well, so you don't have to worry about syncing up. And those shows are Supernatural, Hunter x Hunter, Code Geass, Death Note, My Hero Academia, movie included, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, and One Punch Man. Going over our Patreon page to check out all those shows, and if you want to stream along with us to watch The Mandalorian over there. All right, let's swing into this.
Hey.
Oh, damn. Oh, oof.
Damn. Ow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa!
Nice.
Incinerated that guy.
Yeah. It's the cutest thing. Wow.
Sci-fi healing techniques.
Yeah. No more needles and thread.
Woo.
Taking his first steps. Oh, guy. Just gonna smack him or something. Oh.
Oh, they're just gonna make me smile the whole show.
Yeah, it's gonna be all about little moments this show.
Aww.
Stay in your intergalactic crib. Freaking looters.
You will have seen those characters in A New Hope. Remember that? Remember that? Oh! Wow, dude.
Damn. Oh.
Never thought I'd have so much joy watching him kill those little things.
Yeah, he's got his Thanos gun. Whoa.
Wow.
Jesus.
It's a cool shot.
Yeah. Whoa. No.
I love him. It's just, I don't know why. It's just really hit me. I love this guy.
Yeah. Come on, buddy.
Oh no!
Ow. Ow.
Oh,
It's like an
Mandalorian armor right there.
Yeah. Heh.
Oh no! No!
My man. Ow.
Is he take it off? Oh, I thought he would take off his helmet. Like Iron Man.
Yeah.
Should just CGI'd it. Would have been just as appealing.
That's right.
Plus, you could do so many more things with it.
Is this your kid?
I thought you were dead. This is what was causing all the fuss.
I think it's a child.
It is better to deliver it alive then. We can trade.
With Jawas? Are you out of your mind?
I will take you to them. I have spoken.
This guy.
Hey, spit that out.
Oh. Oh. He's just laughing.
Greetings. I got someone you want to see.
He said it. He said
You need to drop your rifle.
I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion.
And you are not given
Nice. Oh, t-shirt.
Weapons are part of our religion. It's great, yeah. Tattoos, everything.
These are my parts. They stole them from me.
Ah, I speak no language. No, never mind.
Understand this?
Oh! The egg.
The egg. What egg?
Just go to Star Wars Ralph's.
Yeah.
They're on sale.
They could have like a 16 pack or something.
Dude, these. It's cool that they get to be real characters this time.
Yeah.
Look how freaking real that looks.
I know.
Every time they cut to the Baby Yoda, I just think of more things. Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, perfect lens flares.
Ooh. There's just some like giant creature about to fucking appear.
He's probably like standing on it or something.
Ah!
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh! What a shot! That's a crazy shot.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Woo. Oh. Oh.
Oh no, not a good call, dude. Oh, I love the way they stage this.
Yeah. Oh.
Baby Yoda's gotta do something. Yes, I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! Dude!
Whoa.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool.
Please don't tear the animal apart, though. Oh,
Little baby Yoda. Oh. Oh.
sweet.
Should have picked the exact right stabbing place. Oh.
This scene was inspired by Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be a crossover eventually when the timelines sync up.
Mando's like, we can make a lot of money together.
I'm not a partners guy, but there he is.
Come on, show up right at the right time, Mando.
Yeah.
Mandalorian. Is Mando a racist word?
I don't know. People have been using it as shorthand in reviews and stuff. It'd be unfortunate if it was. Ooh. 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 Jeepers. Yeah. Jesus.
I still don't understand what happened.
Neither do I.
He's gonna learn to believe in something bigger than himself.
He's gonna learn about the Force.
They're building the Iron Man suit.
That's right. It's gonna come out in a big old clunky tin can.
Man, it's a bummer. If this is a Marvel Netflix show, we could have spent like 10 episodes here.
I know. You could have spent the whole season here.
We missed the scene where Mando was showering with his armor.
With his head down and a hand against the wall.
I have spoken.
Yes, you have! That's another shirt right there.
Yeah.
I have spoken.
Oh yeah, get that Nick Nolte t-shirt going.
Come on, Rocky. Another one-hand push-up. Got it in you. And so Mando went on his way.
Hunting bounties throughout the galaxy.
Somebody's gonna shoot the ship.
He's gotta sleep it off.
Yeah, give that kid some food.
Yeah, or some. Maybe you should have
You
given
brought
him some.
frogs, right?
Yeah.
We should be dicks and put the Yoda in the thumbnail.
Yes. Yeah, that'll go over well with everyone. Oh,
whoa!
one. No way.
That's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I didn't read comments from the last episode. What happened? We didn't give the reaction they wanted.
As I recall it, we weren't really all that shocked about Baby Yoda, and apparently that's just a big deal because
Yeah, I felt like we treated it like a big deal. We were confused. I
Yeah.
think the show kind of wants you to be confused. Should we have been like,
no, not the reaction itself, but I don't know. I feel like we weren't like, oh yeah, it's just a Baby Yoda, okay. But like,
Well, I hope that doesn't sway people from stopping to watch our review and thoughts on this. You gotta understand, with a pilot episode, and specifically that day of other things that were actually going on in life that I will not get into, but that day specifically, and also it's the pilot, there's a lot that I'm like, okay, I want to make sure I'm absorbing all the information. I'm like also hyper-focused. I'm not as just settled into the experience as I'm also trying to gather everything. And then when Baby Yoda showed up, I was like, what? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, we were confused and questioning what was going on. We talked about it. Either way, I love this episode. The first one I really liked, and I knew that that one was a lot of setup, putting us into the tone and the world and the mood. And I had a feel, and I said it, that this next episode will probably bring out more of the emotional stakes that are going on here. Yeah, I really got the feels for that. This relationship that he has with this Baby Yoda character, you know, seeing more of the emotional side to Mando, as we'll just call him for now. I like this one a lot where he's struggling the whole time. It's not a walk in the park for this guy. Because the first episode you establish how badass he is, how lethal he is, how he can get shit done. And then in this episode, he encounters those Trando-shans. Collider released an image that was like on Entertainment Weekly. They showed a first look of that moment. And even that fight, like even though he handled it, you could feel a little bit more of that
tough.
struggle. Yeah. But then when he's trying to recover the sandcrawler from the Jawas, that moment was great because you're like, oh, he's gonna handle it, and he's struggling the whole time to get up there. But then they get one up on him. He gets knocked out. Then he has to go recover that egg and encounter the rhino. And he's just getting his ass handed to him the whole time. I thought that it's cool watching him struggle. And I like hearing when he's getting like flustered and frustrated and trying to communicate with him. All of that, it made me fall in love with the Mando character. Like I was drawn to him in the first episode. This just fleshes him out and makes him feel more human. And it's cool that we're able to get this full-on performance, even though you can't see his face. I felt more of the lived-in portrayal from Pedro Pascal and everything he's doing, from voice, body language. It's like as opposed to just being a cool soldier, you know, something as little as when he's talking with the Jawas and negotiating, and the way he has like his leg up here and just sitting on the floor with them talking with him, it just feels like a human being. And I really love that. And of course, with the Baby Yoda character, you know, we were talking about it. Like, oh, he's probably gonna use the Force at some point, right? He's gonna use the Force at some point. And that, of course, just adds a layer of mystery. I don't want to think too far down the line in terms of how does this factor into the rest of the lineage with the Star Wars canon? Because, you know, it's like we've got in Force Awakens, Last Jedi, now we're getting Rise of Skywalker. None of this has been brought up. I know this is after Return of the Jedi, but who is this character exactly? This species? Is it from Yoda? Will this factor into into the bigger picture? Perhaps. I am more concerned about the immediacy of it. And I do kind of just like this action hero storyline. Main badass loner character, action hero, has to take care of a child or a baby. We've seen that a bunch of times, but now we're seeing the Star Wars space western version of that, which I think is really neat.
Which is another kind of well-worn. I think they're doing a nice job of transcribing all these Western tropes into this world, and it lends itself really well to it. Yeah, the biggest thing, aside from all the things you mentioned in this episode that I appreciated, was just the emphasis on visual storytelling, body language, because there's so little dialogue in both of these episodes. Even this episode has less dialogue, I think, than the last one. It doesn't have any trouble for me, really communicating its mood and the scope and the direction the story is going. And yeah, there's still a good amount of mystery. The Mandalorian is a mysterious character, but I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. And this just gets me excited to visit more and explore more of this world. The only thing I don't want is just, for this to start going, Star Wars stuff, we're gonna start explaining stuff about the original films, ha ha ha. Because I think this is doing a really nice job of being a contained and separate story. And so that was my only worry last time. Maybe that hampered my reaction to Little Yoda, because I was like, are they gonna, really start doing fan service? And that's kind of what I don't want, but...
Well, I mean, I know from the movies it was that it's like, Yoda died in Return of the Jedi. I didn't assume that was Yoda, but admittedly, I wasn't fully aware that not even the hardcore of the Star Wars fans, the ones who have read all the books and watched the shows, don't really know much about the species of Yoda. That hasn't really been. So I didn't really know that.
Yeah, me neither.
But of course, the whole thing is supposed to make you go, it's like a little Yoda.
Yeah.
But why is there a little Yoda exactly?
Yeah, and my hope is that they can use that for both of us, basically.
Yeah, and I think they have to. I have queued up the Clone Wars. I'm gonna start watching the animated shows. I'm in that zone now where I just want to get as much absorbed into, and then eventually I'll go on to the video games. It's raising this mystery question because he has a mission, he has a client, this is the asset, he has obtained the asset, and now he needs to deliver it back. But of course, it's raising a lot of questionable morality stuff for him. I remember in the first episode there was that flashback moment that you see briefly. He might have been adopted himself in some way.
His village being destroyed and all that.
And then he grows up in the Mandalorian culture, so maybe that is playing on. I felt that was very specific on why they teased that emotional core wound for him that would eventually lead to him making this decision. He said that it was 50 years old. The IG droid said that other species age different. Mando repeats back here that he thinks it's just a baby. Might be 50 years old. We don't know for sure yet. Wasn't Yoda 1,000 years old or something? He was a ridiculous age, wasn't he?
Makes sense. Maybe you just spend a long time as a baby, and maybe that's why this species isn't very abundant.
But it does raise the question: why does he want this baby Yoda?
Why does his doctor want it?
Right, and I got the just based off of wardrobe from what Werner Herzog was wearing, the fact that he had stormtroopers with him, he was part of a line with the Empire. I don't know what value they are aware of, how they knew about this Baby Yoda character. Either way, the fact that this Baby Yoda can already use the Force, and I like the nugget that it takes the wind out of Baby Yoda.
Of course.
That was a nice moment. And I just think the way they stage the sequences is really well done. The action moments are all staged in a brilliant way. We've seen these kind of fights before. The way they do it is just so I like watching a fight scene, especially the one with Mando versus the Rhino.
Oh yeah.
Where he's trying to figure out how to take this thing down or whatever. He when he does what the hell is that called? Where the wire zips onto him and he's starting to freaking wakeboard on the mud. When he does it, that's probably not a good idea, but I get what you were going for, dude.
And I love and it harkens back to old Star Wars, and it harkens back to what I think really sells a lot of futuristic sci-fi stuff. Is it's so dirty and it's so that whole scene is covered in mud, and the physical aspects versus the CG, it brings it together in a really nice kind of lived in sort of way.
There were moments early on in the episode where some of the music actually was making me flash to a little bit more of the harrowing sci-fi films of the past, something like Blade Runner. You know what this is also giving me a little bit of? More than just the plot line is Children of Men, which Clive Owen's not an action hero taking care of a baby, but is kind of that in a way.
in a sense,
Like this might be the last of the Yoda species. He just happens to stumble upon this and has to take care of it and deliver it somewhere. There's some vibes that I'm getting from that. A little bit of Logan meets Children of Men.
Yeah. Well, and I can imagine that perhaps through this experience, especially in this episode, when he gets back to the client, I have a feeling there's going to be some kind of conflict because, they're going to probably want to cut him up or do something sinister, study it. Mando's going to have to step up and not let that happen.
He's not. Also, dude, shouts out to Nick Nolte's character. I still don't...
Queel?
I know how to spell his name. Kuill, but I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think he's a great character. And I have spoken will definitely be a major quote. I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't seen any memes online or anything like that yet.
That and weapons are part of my religion.
Weapons are part of... What a great line. I don't know if that's from another, if that was in Rebels or something, but that is a great line. I want that shirt right now. I just want a shadowed, mysterious picture of the Mando with his face, and then weapons are part of my religion, which I don't think is very PC, but it's badass.
Yeah, in the right context. Yeah. In real life, I would argue that's not a good sentiment at all. That's a pretty terrible sentiment.
The last thing I'll say is with the Jawas, I thought was cool too. Is I felt like they were real characters. We don't know what they're saying. They got some moments with a little bit of subtitles, sure, but it was cool to kind of explore a little bit more of who they are. Even with the egg, I don't exactly know what they just want to munch on an egg.
It's the yolk from an egg, so delicious. Yeah. It's a delicacy.
Maybe that's what it is, but just getting acquainted with that, I just think is a really nice touch. I love this. This feels like a very lived-in show.
Yeah.
The first one I really liked, and I was like, I definitely want to keep watching, and this quickly got me on board with. I love this show.
Yeah, well, and I think it's interesting too that the length is not like a full hour-long show or a 42-minute show, and it didn't feel too short or too long this episode, being only like a half hour and change. So I also appreciate that, with all these budgetary concerns and stuff like that, it seems like they're playing this in a smart, sort of slightly different structural way.
It just seems like with every episode, they're gonna tell it whatever length it needs to be, whatever's required for this story of this episode to properly be told. It doesn't seem like they're too bogged down by runtime.
Well, but they got effects to do and stuff.
Sure.
There's. I imagine the longer your script, the more expensive your episode is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but still, it's I feel like with streaming shows, especially, it's like with cable, we're kind of designed for hour-long dramas, absolutely. But I think with streaming too, we usually expect the 50 to 60-minute mark for most of these episodes, and the first one was 40-something minutes. This is 30-something minutes. This one specifically had a really cool pulse about it. It wasn't this is a much faster show now, but there was a rhythm that was quickly established early on, especially since we did all the setting up and a much slower build in the first episode. Now we can pick up the pace. I really love the pacing to this. I'm excited to see how things unfold, man. This is really... This was great. I was into this completely from beginning to end. I was able to just settle back in. So, hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here. You can check out our full-length reaction over at our Patreon page. You guys can subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click our notification bell to get notified whenever we got a new YouTube video up, including the next Mandalorian reaction. We'll catch you guys soon. Thanks again to Eric over at Nerd Chronic for putting this together.